I'm Joshua McGrath. I'm one half of Doppler Interactive. We're a Sydney-based indie games and I guess game tool development company or partnership. Work. So much work. Man, there's so much to do really, particularly as an indie developer. Apart from the actual game development aspect, I personally do the programming and such. I think the bigger job is the community management, the promotion, the marketing. I think it's everything. It's a wide palette of skills. But I personally am a programmer by trade and largely by what I do. I was a computer science background for education-wise, and I have quite a bit of experience in that. But I think it was, I don't know, there's a big personality component, particularly in the industry, like with a lot of creative people, you know, you've got to work with the designers and the project managers who don't know a goddamn thing, and the CEOs with a grand vision. So I think by and large it's that combination of, you know, a moderate amount of technical skill and I guess a creative mindset, or at least a leaning toward that sort of area. Both myself and my partner here have a sort of background in creative arts and music and such. So I think you really need a very broad range of skills just to squash into the thing. Oh, I'll tell you about the big one we've got going right now. We're actually making money now, so that's fantastic. That's what you want to hear from any business, really. So that's T Mappa. That's what we're developing now. We use a toolkit called Unity for all of our game development and such, and we've been using that for a long time now. Actually, since it came out for Windows, maybe 2.5 years, 3 years, something like that. Doing a lot of game development for iPhone and Android and such. But what we've noticed is it's very hard to make money from games. I guess the market's very big and very competitive, and people don't like to pay for anything. But it's not quite so hard to make money from game tools, because there's an awful lot of people who want to develop games, and only a very small subset of them will actually ever publish anything. But the rest of them are still happy to pay for tools to try to get things done a little bit more quickly. So around last November we sort of conceptualized this concept of a plugin for Unity, which is the 3D engine, for painting your game in a sort of very intuitive, sort of Photoshop-esque way. Something that everyone could sort of pick up and enjoy using, and hopefully get something productive out of it. So we worked on that for maybe 3 months, and it finished up. We published it, and we're doing pretty well from that. We're looking to continue growing it now, so that'll be our main thing. It's like we're looking to make profit at every stage along the way of making a game. So instead of launching straight into a game and sort of really rolling the dice on whether you make money from that, we're developing a tool and selling that, and once that's nice and polished and refined, and we've had that benefit of testing it with, you know, users out in the world, we can use that to build a game. So it's like every stage along the line is actually a cohesive product that we can test and polish. Oh man, there are so many. There are so many. From a game development, you know, industry perspective, I guess the big one is really it's the people aspect. Working with people from so many different backgrounds, career-wise and interest-wise, getting technical staff to work well with design staff and artists who have a grand ear-cutting vision, and you know, the purists and such. That's a big challenge just in the pursuit as a whole. I mean, we still sort of find that even with your socializing at the, say, IGDA events and such, a lot of different people coming from different angles, and the personalities often don't mesh. But once you get there, that's fine. From a business perspective, though, I think that's the real challenge. The financial aspect, for one, is huge. That's the biggest challenge. But if you don't mind starving or foregoing beer, then that's manageable. Keeping motivated, I think, is a huge one. I think that's probably universal across all creative pursuits, but particularly when you're in indie games or indie development full stop, you've got nobody pushing you to say, you know, you've got to have this thing finished by Friday, or you've got no guarantee that it's actually going to be successful. So keeping motivated and keeping positive and working hard even when you've got nobody cracking a whip behind you, that's probably the biggest challenge. It is very rewarding. Probably not in a tangible manner that you can pay your rent with or anything like that, but I guess like all creative pursuits, it's the almost spiritual reward of actually doing something and seeing it function and reaching some sort of grand design that you had in mind. I think that's the big thing about game development or any development as a whole. I think I felt the same way about building databases, with what IBM, or writing testing software or something like that. It's achieving something at the end of the day that you envisioned at the start of the day. It just happens that game development is a little bit prettier than databases or spreadsheets. So I think the rewards are purely the satisfaction of seeing something very difficult come to fruition. And man, if people enjoy playing or using it after that, that's something else. This is a hard question. I was thinking about this. We get a few, I guess, they'd be money-oriented opportunities, things like, we'll get out of the blue contracts or requests for contracts, build a game for us, do this or that. Get a few maybe speaking requests, come and speak at this conference. I think most of them, by and large, are actually self-driven opportunities, things like when the market changes or technology changes a little bit, a new market opens up. I guess an example would have been the App Store coming out, or the Android market. Things like that are the real golden opportunities, I think, in a field like this. The market provides the opportunities, we have to jump on them and actually do something with it. Not really so much. I think we're pretty free as a creative pursuit to do as we please. I think the big hot button ethical issue is the piracy issue, I think, and there's a lot of opinions about this. I have conflicting opinions about it myself, from both the prevention of piracy sort of thing and the leveraging of piracy as some sort of marketing tool. But I don't think there's honestly much you can do about that one. You just do your damn best and hope 10% of people appreciate that and are willing to spend a little bit of money and not just blatantly steal things because they don't appreciate the value of effort. Well, that's a tricky one. I think I'll give it from my perspective. I know a lot of places require certain skills, but I think the essentials are really technically from a programmer developer perspective. I think a strong background, preferably computer science, something algorithm driven, is great because it gives you a nice logical foundation. I mean, these things can be learnt, but I think it's very difficult to substitute a good computer science education for one. I'm biased because I'm computer science, obviously. From a technical skills perspective, I think going into probably a C# is an excellent language to get into, because you'll scrape along sort of C++ along the way. A lot of companies tend to like this. You can use it with Unity, which is fantastic, and it's so syntax similar to Java that you may as well have learned two languages along the way. I think that's a good place to start. Oh, I have tons of advice. Step one, the really big one, is make sure you actually want to become a game developer. Make sure that what you want is not to be a rock star or to have a lot of glory or to have a fun job where you play with toys all day long, because game development is about as fun as building databases or maintaining spreadsheets or any other job in the world. It's actually a little bit harder, I guess, and sometimes more soul-crushing because you're so committed to it. Make sure that your passion actually is game development. I think there are a lot of misconceptions about what it actually involves, but that's the huge one. And the second one, I guess, is work really damn hard. If you're looking to get into the industry, you want to make free time for one, and you want to spend that just working. You gotta have a blog, have a Twitter, be always doing things. If you're working a 9 to 5 or 9 to 10 office job, when you get home, you got to be working on that game development stuff, man, because the industry is pretty damn competitive as it is. But all of that groundwork you put in is so valuable. It's what builds a good career. If you've got a solid set of skills, and no one's going to be able to teach you that. It's just time. There's no sort of secret to instantly becoming an awesome game developer. You just got to work really damn hard. But you do that, and you're well on the way. Once you've got that work ethic, man, the world is your oyster. You can do anything. That's good advice for everybody, actually. Take it to the bank.